potentially contaminated marijuana is recalled in Colorado, and a health advisory has been issued. That's right. A health and safety advisory was issued Friday for certain batches of marijuana sold at 6 dispensaries in Colorado. The advisory, issued by the Colorado Department of Revenue and the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, says the batches that were tested had levels of yeast and mold that exceeded acceptable limits. Marijuana that exceeds established limits is considered a threat to public health and safety, the advisory reads. The producer, Wild Horse Enterprises, LLC, sold the potentially contaminated, I love how they say potentially, products between March 21st, 2024 and June 9th, 2024. The company voluntarily recalled the affected batches in collaboration with the Marijuana Enforcement Division. The advisory says the recalled products were sold at 6 stores in Colorado: in Denver, The Joint; in Pueblo, Maggie's Farm; Garden City, High Plains Strains; and Garden City, Nature's Herb and Wellness Center; and Manitou Springs, Maggie's Farm; and Walsburg, Bud Hut. Marijuana consumers can check the containers of any flower purchased for a retail marijuana cultivation license and harvest batch number, and the advisory asks that products with the following cultivation license or batch numbers be disposed of or returned: retail marijuana cultivation license number 403R0169 and harvest batch number, we are going to post it down below. The advisory also says anyone who experiences adverse health effects after consuming the affected marijuana should seek immediate medical attention and report it to the Marijuana Enforcement Division. Jesus, why are they going to report that to the Marijuana Health Division? That is just kind of crazy to me. I'd be trying to take this thing back to the store and get a refund, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I just think it's funny. I mean, I think that this company held itself out to be a different kind of sustainable, blah, blah, blah. They were in a suit with Boulder over land use a few years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, they fought a lot. And I'm familiar with some of those stores and the names of those stores. And so I'm guessing this is sold at a pretty low price point.
So this is budget weed.
This is budget boof. This is sustainable budget boof. So, you know.
Is budget weed really sustainable?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to sustain.
Seems like they like to cut corners to make it cheaper. They cut
corners. Or it seems like maybe there's some people coming in trying to revolutionize something and they don't really know what they're doing. That sounds like, you know, post-harvest process. It sounds like conditions. It sounds like, you know, you guys got some issues. I remember in Colorado years ago, people were throwing their weed in the microwave before they sent it in for testing to pass microbials, and it's just, there's some gross stuff that's happened. Everything from hydrogen peroxide washes to microwaving samples, which is pretty egregious. Just clean your fucking facility. Get your conditions correct. It's IPEM. The environmental portion is key in cultivating good and clean cannabis.
I mean, what's
to show you? Grow weed in your backyard. Buy weed from friends. Stay away from all these toxic fucking chemicals.
Fair enough. And I have a question. What's so bad about smoking yeast, Jenny?
Smoking yeast?
Yeah, because it said it had high levels of mold and yeast.
Mold and yeast, yeah. I mean, Jason, aren't we about to do a yeast cleanse?
What about the Yeasty Boys?
The Yeasty Boys? Those are some great fucking bagels, man. There's some great bagels. Best in town.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why anyone would buy Colorado weed in the first place, so I don't even...
Listen, there are some great Colorado cultivators. Like, there really are. And there are some people who... Colorado had an issue with dry weed
They still do.
Well, of course, some people do because they don't take care of the plant. They grow it and they chop it down and they don't know how to properly
turns
cure
into
it
dust as soon as you touch it.
Shelf stability. In a lot of instances, it does, but in some places, they actually understand the post-harvest process and what matters there and can create a product that doesn't do that. The issue was, like, for a long time, we had to be vertically integrated. So if my store needed weed, I had to grow that. If the store is calling me saying we need more Blue Dream or whatever, and I just harvest it and it's not quite ready, and they're pushing and pushing and pushing, and someone sends it forward, that's not going to create a stable product. It's not going to give it the time that the plant needs to be properly shelf stable, and you're going to have things like over-dried cannabis, especially in such an arid area. But next question, Jason?
I mean, well, if they needed more Blue Dream, why don't they just take like some Super Silver Haze and just market as Blue Dream?
We were a largely medical market, and our patients, a lot of them were buying that deli style model, so they actually knew what the fuck they were smoking.
Yeah, but when you smoke weed that is just so dry, I mean, there's not really much taste there, so they're not going to know the difference.
No. Listen, I try to be honest. I also don't put dry weed on the shelf, but that's just me.
Any thoughts on this, Mathieu St. Germain?
It's just a lot more you have to do in Tahoe and Colorado to keep your weed good. I mean, it's the same thing like when I'm on vacation in Maui for the opposite reason. I would always take all my weed and bring some jars and seal up all my weed separate and have like per day or per week packs that I could put into jars, because there you leave it out and within an hour it's so gooey gummy you can't roll a joint with it. Colorado, like you're saying, you leave your weed out for an hour and it's just going to break apart to pieces.
It's going to self-disintegrate.
Would be you need to run your dispensary sales floor with much higher humidity. Almost run it like a dry room,
like a salon.
Back of that, otherwise, especially with the deli style where you're pulling canisters tops off all the time, you are going to just dry out all your stuff.
Very, very true.
Most people don't seem to understand that like cannabis is an organic product that's always in process. It's never a piece of plastic sitting on a shelf with a 1,000,000-year shelf life. Like, it's always acceptable to whatever environmental factors are going on, and a lot of people, especially the dispensary level, don't understand.
Yeah,
right.
That's very true. A lot of dispensary operators have no clue of best practices to preserve cannabis in the state that it's in.
Same thing in Vegas, bro. You go into Vegas and in the summertime, the dispensary has the AC on, but that means it's 85 degrees and 0% humidity.
And at the same time, too, having air conditioner on that long can dry out the flower as well.
An air conditioner is like a dehumidifier plus cooling.
Yeah. At least it's cool and you're not smoking hot weed or hot hemp.